the gamer gal. She's here, she's playing games. Linda the gamer gal. She's here, she's playing games today.
So, the very first game was completed on January 1st. I told you I've done this before, where the very first day of the year, I usually am sitting with my dogs because they don't like the fireworks, so they're having a rough night. And I decided to complete the game that I had streamed a month ago, and the very first game was Plucky Squire because I'm gonna do this thing where I'm gonna try to get my backlog plus any game that I stream. I'm gonna try to finish it. Just a thing that I want to do now. But the Plucky Squire is you're a young man, and it's got this feel to it, kind of like Beacon, where you're in a storybook, and he gets kicked out of the storybook by the evil sorcerer who wants to take over the land and wants to rewrite the book to where he's the hero and everybody has to follow him. So you're literally just trying that, and you find out that if you change the words of the story, you could also help yourself along. I enjoyed it. It did get repetitive at the end. There was a lot of stealth stuff at the very end, and it kept doing this tutorial thing where you learn something new and you think, okay, I can't learn anything new. It's got to be done eventually. No, it keeps going. It keeps doing the tutorial stuff, and you're like, I already learned everything. I don't really need the tutorial stuff. I remember this from the beginning. But other than that, it's a good, solid game. I do recommend it. I'm not sure if it's still on PlayStation Plus. It was there for a while. But if you're wanting a little cute, little fun action game, it's got a top-down view, kind of like Zelda, you will enjoy the game. It won't be very hard. I didn't have like a terrible time figuring out all the stuff like the bosses. I did enjoy some of the bosses. There was like rhythm parts. So again, if you're not into rhythm games, it's not going to be up your alley. But had a good solid time. I really dug it. If you're up there seeing if it has it on PlayStation Plus, definitely try it out. It's free. The next game was also a game that I had streamed. It was recommended, and it was Night Slasher's Remake. This is an arcade beat-em-up game where you are 4 warriors who are trying to defeat the evil that is lurking. It has a really gory atmosphere. They did change it. It used to be a pixelated art, and you have to get used to it's kind of like comic cartoon style, but it's really graphic. It's still gory for people who are not used to things like limbs falling off. It does have that. They have zombies in it. They do have like vampires, night creatures, different things like that, werewolves. So if you're really into horror-based stuff, you're going to really dig this. I had a fun time with this. If you are not sure, it does have a difficulty spike. So just be prepared at the very end. It does have a part where I was raging a little bit. So remember, the minions can get through your special, which is kind of weird to me. So the next game that I finished was a visual novel, and for those who are new to my channel, in order to have it on the finished list for anything, any visual novel, I have to platinum. That's a rule I set for myself, so I don't finish games of 5 seconds, because a lot of visual novels can be done in 45 minutes to an hour, and I just don't feel right putting on a list if it's not completed in a special way. So this one, Doki Doki Literature Club, was a little bit of a hit or miss for me. I'm not going to spoil the story. There's a plot twist in the middle of the game, but basically it's kind of like an old PC game from back in the day. You get to see the desktop and you get to see stuff and move around and see files in there. And so you start up the game and you'll be playing like an old DOS game. And so you start playing the visual novel and you meet 4 women, young ladies, who are in a literature club, and you're basically writing poems for each other, and you're a young man who is trying to figure out the club and different things and trying to balance the relationships of every single one of them and not have anybody get jealous or anything like that. But I will say I kind of got irritated a little bit because I was just one of the unlucky few who could not get stuff to drop for me. So like there's certain wallpapers, you have to collect a lot of things, and I was just not lucky at all, ever. Like whenever I would do something or have something happen, I just could not get like the special wallpaper. There's like a black and white wallpaper that when you trigger it, it does something, and it's a certain chapter, certain time, and it's random. is another thing that really irritated me. It wasn't like you had to do a specific thing or have a specific dialogue or something like that. It was random. Some people, it could drop with the first time they get to that chapter, whatever. And then it took me, because I've been playing this game for a couple months. I started this like back in September, October, when it was on the monthly list for PlayStation Plus. And then I stopped for a minute, and then I went back, and then sure enough, I was like, okay, let me look it up, because I'm not hitting all the triggers of whatever I need to get for that trophy. Let me see, it's hidden, let me find out. Sure enough, I had watched a guy who spent 2 hours trying back and forth of like repeatedly doing whatever he thought would work, and it finally happened. It took me 2 days to get that wallpaper to drop. I'm unlucky. So this was one of the harder platinums to get so far out of all the visual novels, and it's like, wow. Definitely, if you're going to play Doki Doki, don't go for the platinum. Just enjoy the story, play it a couple times, see the different endings, different stuff. Just enjoy it. Like, don't do what I did. The platinum was not worth it, in my opinion. Then I finished my first RPG for the year, and that was NieR Replicant version, whatever number is. I saw CM Retro play this, and I really dug it. So what happened was, I played it end of last year. I started it because it was on PlayStation Plus, and then sadly it went off of PlayStation Plus, and then I couldn't get my save. I don't know what happened, so I had to basically kind of restart from where the save that I could find on cloud, and I was a little bit farther along the story, but I liked it. I dug it. So you're a young man who sees his sister get kidnapped, and you have to get your sister back, and so you ask a bunch of people to help you along the way that you meet. You save a young woman who was being attacked, but she kind of didn't really need your help, she said, but you can tell she wanted to be with a group of people again. And then you basically have like this darkness that is kind of enveloping the land. It's making the land animals bad and making the vegetation even bad. And you're trying to get rid of this spirit entity, and they're basically possessing people. And so you have to, along the way, figure out, like, what is this book that's following you around now? What is this land? What's going on? And these little, like, it looks kind of like shadow creatures that are all over the place. You have to battle them. I didn't go for the platinum for this one. You have to get, like, a rare fish. And with how Doki Doki had gone through, I don't think I would get the platinum ever. I saw CM Retro try for days with multiple different baits and different things like that. Finally got it. Not for me, but it's a really solid RPG. I do recommend it. It's shorter. I don't know if I'll go for the next NieR games, but if I do, I will definitely have a starter game that was awesome. But yeah, it's worth your time if you do find it. Get it for cheaper though. I don't think it's worth 50, 60 bucks. I paid half of that. It was like 30, so definitely a good game. After that, I finished another game that is on the recommended list, and this is also another beat 'em up. It is Warrior Blade. It is an arcade port from Arcade Archives, and this is kind of reminds me of Conan the Barbarian. It's Rastan from that series, and you could get 3 characters to play as. I chose Rastan the first time, and then I was Sonya, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I can't remember now. But you could either have a sword, there was like 2 like ninja daggers, I can't remember what they're called. If you can help me in the comments, please. And then there was a whip. Whip it good. I enjoyed the whip from the female character, and I enjoyed the levels. They were really fun. There was a tower level, there was a water level. Kind of reminded me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their arcade game, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. You had parts where you were in water and you were jumping around and different things like that. So it's a short beat 'em up. It's a hack and slash style game. There is unlimited quarters. I didn't take that long with the number of quarters I had, so that's why I counted it. But definitely a good time. It's very cheap. It's like $8. So if you're looking for a nice hack and slash game, definitely try this one for sure. Next is G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra. This is another beat 'em up. I'm seeing a pattern for this month. It was recommended. Thank you. I enjoyed the game. So you're G.I. Joe again, and you're battling the Cobra. I did like the levels. They did have some good stuff, but it wasn't until the very end that I kind of got a little bored with the levels. Basically, what happened was there would be moments where they bring out 2 machine characters and you're like, okay, cool. Then there was another 2 machine characters and you're like, okay, cool. Then there was another 2 machine characters. You're like, are you trying to deplete my life in this game? It's kind of getting boring. And so I had fun up until that point, and I'm like, huh, more machines, more machines, more machines. I'm seeing a pattern here. And the very end is a lot longer, because I thought I was getting close to the end, but at the very end you battle the clone from Cobra. If you ever, he clones himself, the commander, and it's hilarious. So, Yo Joe, I had fun with it. I don't think it'll be on the top 10 list just because the repetitive nature at the very end, the last level, but solid game. Definitely get it on the cheaper end when you can, and I liked it. And the last game that I finished was Letter Quest. This is another RPG, so I'm down to 2, so I'm on track for my challenge. But Letter Quest is a remaster from an old game, a PC game, and basically you are Grimm, and he is on the quest for pizza. And his phone tells him that the pizza is farther than he thought. He ordered at the wrong pizza joint, so he has to go get it. And he battles a bunch of bunnies and other people. And I like the twist of this RPG. You level up by earning gems and different things. And to earn gems, you have to do different stuff. But basically, it's kind of like Bejeweled, but with Scrabble. And so you have to get a bunch of words, look it up, and figure it out and put them together. And then you get certain buffs and attacks for gems from a letter. So like some letters will pop up and they will have a gem on them, and that means that they're double attack or triple attack. And also certain bosses will say like you have to have letters with only S in them to do damage, or letters with only T to do damage. So you have to like figure out like, okay, this is only doing this, so I have to like spell letters and different things. And it was a really good challenge. I enjoyed it. There's not just 30 levels, so if you look at it, there's hidden levels in the map. So when I finished the story, I went back and I was like, I'll beat all the like extra hard bosses, what they called them. And I went through and I was like, oh, I opened up another one. Okay, I opened up another one. So there's like about 40 total. I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly. But there's at least 10 hidden levels. So please go back, enjoy the challenge of it. I had a good time with that. But yeah, Letter Quest is definitely worth your time. And now we're at the section of games that I'm currently playing. So I did start Street Fighter versus Tekken. I'll show you where I'm at right now. I have started playing it a little bit, just at like the tail end of the month. I don't know. I'm more Tekken than Street Fighter. I really dig Tekken. And if you're playing Tekken characters, you have to get used to that they changed it up, kind of like Street Fighter. So you have to play more like your Street Fighter than Tekken. And if you play, make sure you find the partner character. It's in the manual, so look it up. But I played the very first time with 2 characters that are not supposed to be paired together, because I was like, I'll just play just to have fun. And you don't get a real ending, so just FYI. So I started like looking through the manual. I was like, oh, this, okay. So I was like, Paul goes with Lee and stuff like that. So I get it now. So I started pairing them together, but I like it. I dig it. I don't know if I would ever consider this my favorite game because of the fact that it has a weird system that I'm not really understanding, and it's making the final battle really difficult. But I think if I play it a little bit more, I will get it and understand it. But yeah, it's not the worst fighter I've ever played, but I prefer like the traditional Street Fighter on Super Nintendo or Tekken 3. Like, I wish they had balanced it out or something like that. Not bad. I like it. Then I am currently playing Monster Hunter Stories. I like the system. I am stuck at a boss. That's why I switched to Letter Quest just to finish it off. But I don't know. I think I'm close to the middle of the game. I'm not sure. I have to like look it up where I'm at with the quests and stuff like that. But I like this game so far. You're a young man who is collecting, kind of like Pokemon. You're collecting monsters and you're getting a kinship, is what they call them, level that's high, so that when you battle, you can do other moves and partner together and do partner moves to do more damage. I like it. It's got a kind of like a blight or like a dark entity that is like taking over the creatures, and you have to like battle them to get the entity out of their possession or whatever out of them. I like the game as far as the battle system. You have to kind of earn different things and figure out what the boss is doing. And I do like that they don't just like make you go really far back. It's like you do have the option to like start the battle again if you want, or you can just like go back, and because you have to heal up. You don't really have like a HP. You have hearts. You have like 3 hearts. You can't earn more hearts. You can just earn more HP. But once you run out of hearts, you're done. And even the monster counts for hearts. So you have to like interchange them like Pokemon to keep it going and not lose like once you get to 0 for any monster, you lose a heart. So I'm digging the story. I like it. I do recommend for anybody who is not really into Monster Hunters to try this first. I like this more than like Monster Hunters Wild or something like that. And finally, I'm still trying to get through Halloween. I'm stuck at the last level and it's kicking my ass. This shit is annoying. But it's a fun game. I have seen the ending because I saw a couple people like Dan and other people in the community play it like Retro Tipodon. It's a fun game. I do recommend it. I might switch to Ash versus Evil Dead, but we'll see what happens. I'm trying to get through this. I haven't dropped any games so far because I'm starting fresh and brand new, so we'll see how it goes. If I do drop anything, I'll let you know later on. But yeah, let me know how you like the new system, and are you keeping track of your backlog, or where did you go with January? What did you have more genres did you pick? Hope you are having a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. If you're new, please consider subscribing, giving a like before you roll out, and I'll catch you next time. Keep on gaming. Bye, everybody.
She's got the beats. Stand back, she's got the games you need in hand with feet. Just recording, she's in command. From 8-bit wonders to the latest craze. Linda, the gamer gal, she's here to